Hi folks, and welcome to another birding adventure on Rick Simon Fishing Adventures. Well, for this bird watching video, we're going to focus on bigger birds. If you watched the last video, you saw the American goldfinch as well as the downy woodpecker, some new species that showed up. This episode though focuses on larger birds. You'll see the northern cardinal as well as the mourning dove and the common grackle. So we had a fair share of blackbirds on this episode as well because we were using mealworm cakes and also peanut cakes that attracted in the bigger birds. So we hope that you enjoy this birding episode, folks, and we'll talk to you at the end of the episode. So folks, here we have our mourning dove. Oftentimes you'll hear the mourning dove making a cooing sound in the morning or in the evenings, and it's often mistaken for a hooing sound of an owl. You'll notice when this guy drinks, he just sucks the water up. He doesn't drink like normal birds. So it looks like he's really guzzling here, but he does look thirsty. He's drinking a lot of dry seeds and millet. A lot of times you'll see doves in flocks and they'll feed together, such as the case here. So folks, it's easy to recognize whether a downy woodpecker is male or female. As you can see by its red cap, that's a male. So the white-breasted nuthatch is a fan of the sunflower seeds, which oftentimes they'll cache, as you saw with the titmouse in previous episodes. That yanking call that the nuthatch is making could be for a variety of reasons. However, I believe it's to defend his territory in terms of feeding. There have been other rivals here, such as the chickadee and the titmouse, and they've kind of been having a bit of a standoff with each other. And of course, this is the female downy woodpecker. She does not have the red cap that the male does. I mentioned earlier about the nuthatch and its potential rivals with the chickadee and the titmouse. As you can see, I didn't make that up. Here's a male American goldfinch. He lives in our yard. He usually comes by about once a day, generally in mid-afternoon. Here you'll see a behavior that's very common amongst these smaller birds like wrens and sparrows and nuthatches is they feed their young. They actually regurgitate seed and feed it to them, which this bird is doing here. Folks, I didn't include every bird that I saw at our feeder. We literally had hundreds of birds coming through our feeder every week. So we just took some different birds that you hadn't seen in the past and put them more in this video. But there were several different species of birds. As you can see, they're all coming together. Here we have two northern cardinals which made a late evening visit to our feeder, which is common for them. I believe this is a younger male downy woodpecker, folks. He showed up a few days ago. He looks very young. You could see he's got red on his cap, but it's small, so I think he's very young. This grackle is definitely looking for some sunflower seeds. Some grackles migrate in Massachusetts, some stay year-round. We don't know what this guy's going to do yet, but he's eating like he might want to migrate. Oftentimes, grackles feed in flocks, especially when they're getting ready to migrate. So this is the American crow. Crows are one of the smartest birds. In fact, in many states, you cannot have a crow as a pet because you can teach the crow how to do things that are unethical, like steal money. I'm not joking, folks. You can actually teach a crow how to go and take dollar bills out of people's hands if you feed them. I don't know about this grackle or not, if you could teach him how to do that. A grackle will eat just about anything, and this peanut butter suet cake was no exception. The lifespan for a grackle is about 5 to 10 years. So folks, if you watch my fishing channel, you may have seen these birds. I ran across these when I was fishing. I wasn't actually bird watching when I ran into these chickens. Of course, this is the male northern cardinal. He finally showed up. You may have seen a few episodes ago in the bird watching videos that we filmed him singing in a tree. Here we have the male house finch. Not quite as red as a cardinal, but a beautiful bird nonetheless. And here we have the female northern cardinal. As you can tell, it's less bright of a red than the male northern cardinal, but still a beautiful bird. And as I mentioned, folks, they like to show up in the evening. This is their most prominent time for feeding. They'll also feed in the mornings, but they're known to feed at night, and they're always the last ones at the feeder. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that episode of Birding on Rick Simon Fishing Adventures. We certainly did see a lot bigger birds this week, and they brought their appetites. I'll be going to the store later on today to buy more bird food. However, it was really cool to see those different species of birds, and we're going to be seeing more and more as the weather turns here in the fall, and a lot of different species coming through Douglas. It's in a migratory area, so look forward to those adventures as well as our other fishing adventures, folks. Again, thanks for watching and have a great day. We'll talk to you in the next one.